Welcome back to Nails by Sora. I am Stephanie, and this is the manicure for today. So it's kind of a riff off of a marble nail. I didn't really plan it. I knew I wanted to do a rainbow style overlay on black. And I just got this gold gel paint from Glam the other day, and I really wanted to use it. So I figured I'd play around and see what happens, and this is what happened. And I'm very happy with it, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So right now I'm going to start with prepping my nails. They're all filed and shaped for taken down from my last manicure. I'm going to go in with nail dehydrator only. I usually use Model 1's nail primer, but I've been having a weird reaction lately when I'm curing my gel polish, in that it starts to bubble up and doesn't really cure properly. And I have a feeling it's more the issue of laying on colors too thick versus an issue with the nail primer, because I'm using a lot darker colors lately, and they take a little bit longer to cure, but also I've been being a little generous with my coverage. And one of the manicures from my last, or I should say the manicure from one of my last videos, the one where I was doing finger painting, if you watched it, if not, I will put it in the cards above. I had this odd incident that the top layer cured, but the middle layer didn't. So after a day, I started to get warping, and it almost felt like you could push your finger into it and it would like move around. So I knew I had to remove it because I didn't want to have issues with populating a gel allergy. And so cautioned. So a word of advice: make sure when you're using gel polishes, especially ones that are really dark like blacks or really opaque like deep blues and purples, that you go thin. Rather do more coats than more English. Rather do 3 or 4 thin coats than 1 or 2 thick coats, because the thick coats won't cure. So instead of going in with the black, which I was about to do, I'm going to do my base coat. And as usual, and as I just said, you want to go as thin as possible while still getting full coverage. Pushing the gel towards the cuticle, not starting at the cuticle line, but starting a little ways up from it, so that you don't flood the cuticle. And then just doing even strokes. I'm also going to start getting a little bit away from flash curing, because I don't know if that's having an effect. These polishes specifically say cure with a UV light cure for 2 minutes, or with an LED for 30 seconds. So mine is a combo UV and LED, so I usually go somewhere in between, and I usually err on the side of caution doing 90 seconds, especially for the last cure. But I've been doing partial cures just so that I don't have to have my hand in and out of the UV light for 90 seconds every single time, because the less exposure to UV light, the better. But think if I'm going to do a flash cure, instead of 10 seconds, it's going to be more for 20 to 30 seconds, just to make sure that I don't have any warping or buckling in the gel. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the black. And it's not a true black, it's called Reality Check, and it has some red tones in it, which I could see a little bit better on the swatch than what I can actually see on my nail. It looks more like a true black on my nail, though it is semi-transparent. So I am going to do probably 3 coats It took me a little bit longer to do it on my left hand before because I got the warped bubbling and wrinkling. So I'm going to focus on going really thin with my layers this time so that I don't have any issues. Now with whites and blacks, you want to be careful around the cuticle line. With any polish, you want to be careful around the cuticle line. But I'm going to go in with my detail liner, a little bit of alcohol just to wet it, and I'm going to pull it to make sure I get full coverage. With nudes, you can be a little bit more easygoing because it blends in with the natural skin tone. But with blacks, whites, and really opaque pinks, you tend to notice the separation a little bit more if you don't go all the way down to the cuticle line. And the goal here is to make the nail look as long as possible. The nail bed specifically. And also, you don't want to do your nails today and tomorrow it looks like it's already starting to grow out. And then I'm going to take a little bit more alcohol and just get the bits that I got on the side of my skin and cure. 30-second cure. Beautiful, just hit my nail. Turning my hand upside down so that it flows towards the apex. I don't know how I keep getting polish all on the side. And cure for another 30 seconds. And then we'll go in and do a second coat. What do you want, boo? So I misspoke just now and said cure for 30 seconds. You want to cure for 60 seconds because you want to do a full cure in between coats. Just gonna wipe the bottle because I've got some drippage. And go in for the second coat. Okay, so I went and did the third coat off camera. We're good to go. I'm going to show you how I laid down the colors that we're going to be playing with. Basically, you just want to stripe it whatever order you want. There's really no set way of doing it. But I'm going to be using my favorite product, which is the Blooming Effect Gel by IGel Beauty. White by Beetles. Milky White by Madame Glam, and then the gold gel paint. And then on each nail, I'm going to be doing different rainbow colors from the Glass Collection by Madame Glam. So basically what I did was I just laid down my inks, my paints in stripes so that I can pick them up together. And I'm just going to replenish what I have here. Some of the black, and I had done the first nail separately, so I don't have it on the palette. So I'm going to lay that down now quickly. I think right here. And you don't need a lot because you certainly don't want to waste it. You're not going to use all of it. So just use, it's not yellow, just use it sparingly. Got the white going in between. And just be careful if you get it on the brush like I did. You wipe it off before it goes back into the bottle. Because otherwise you will have pink, not white. And then the gold. Replenish that here. All right, so it's a pretty straightforward process. You want your application brush, you want your alcohol, and if you want to do a little bit more dragging and move the pattern around a specific way, then you will need a fine liner. So what I do is I go and I drag through. We're gonna start with the thumb, and I just drag through all the colors. Oh, I always skip a step. It helps to put the Blossom Gel on first. You don't need a lot, just a sparing amount across the nail. Remove any hairs that are hanging on. And then you can go in and just float it across the nail. You can go in and pick up more. In whichever way you want, whichever colors that you want to pick up and focus on. And then if you feel like you haven't gotten enough of any specific color, then you can go in with your fine liner, pick that color up, and lay it down where you want it. I'm gonna get this off of my skin, which may be cured. Yeah, that's cured from before, so I'll pick it off later. But then you just want to let it sit and do whatever it's going to do. Watch it, coach it where you want to, if you want to. I'm just going to pull it down towards the free edge a little bit. I'm going to pick up some more gold and lay that down. And then I'm just going to let it get to a point that I like, and then I'm going to cure it. I think I want some white, so I'm just going to pick up some white from here because it's kind of muddy in the other area. I'm going to lay it down here. The key is to be equally patient and decisive. Because once it's cured, it's cured. But if you go in and lay down too much too quickly and you don't like it, you can always wipe it off and start again. But you don't want to add in too much, get a design that you really like, put in something that you don't like, or, you know, go too heavy, and then all of a sudden it gets muddy, then you don't like it anymore, and you've ruined something that could have potentially been what you were going for, and then you have to start over again. So I'm going to turn it upside down just so it self-levels, because it's about where I want it. And then I'm going to cure it, and I'm going to do a full cure, 60 seconds. So now we're going to go in with the next color and the next nail. Again, laying down the blossom gel, remembering to do that first. Taking your application brush, picking up the colors that you want, and floating it across the nail. Gonna pick up some fresh yellow from over here just to lay it in. And this actually came together really quickly, so I'm going to turn it upside down to level, and then I'm going to cure for 60 seconds. And it's just like that. It can go very quickly, or you can spend a little bit more time working it, moving it around the nail, getting it the way that you want. But ultimately, it's about your own artistic expression. There's no right or way wrong of doing it. It's done when you like it. It's not done if you don't like it. And the key is just to have fun, play around with it, and see what you get. And each nail is going to be different, which is the beautiful part of it. Okay, so if you'll notice, these nails have a lot less color on them than these nails. Part of that reason is that I went a little bit heavier with the white on this hand, so it flooded the nail a little bit more. I actually like this hand a lot better, but what I also did was I went in with a very thin coat of each color over the white to bring it out a little bit more. You can barely see it, the green on my middle nail, and the purple on my pinky nail. So that's why I have these individual colors right here. All you have to do is wet your brush a little bit with some alcohol to thin it out, pick it up on the brush, and lightly swipe it over the areas of white. It's basically just to dull down the white so it doesn't stand out so much and distract. And then you can go on to the next color. All right, now I'm going to go in and do a coat of base, coat of top, and I'll be back to wrap it all up. So as usual, I finished up with some cuticle oil, and this is the manicure. I really love the way it came together. I hope you did too. If you have any comments or questions as to any of the techniques or products I used, please leave them down in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions for upcoming content, also please put them down below. I will leave all the information for the products I used in the description box. And I hope to see you again soon. Please give me a like and subscribe so that you're always notified for upcoming content. And I will see you in the next video.